What a wonderful day!
Yes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has been out for a weekend now. I saw this movie a second time and I actually liked it more the second time. And I've decided, yeah, I will do a spoiler talk because I've solved the ending. And I'll get to that, but first, of course, a spoiler warning. If you have not seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and you're planning on it, I advise you not to watch this video because it will contain spoilers for the movie. We're talking plot points, Easter eggs, and theories for what may happen next. If you have seen this movie or you don't care, you're good to go. Alright, you've been warned, let's jump in. So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes kind of starts out like the last movie War for the Planet of the Apes did with recap text, except this time it's condensing 3 movies instead of 2. 3 whole movies condensed into a couple of paragraphs. And actually, I like how the movie starts out with Caesar's funeral. It's kind of a bookend on the first trilogy, so it feeds directly into this new one. Now I want the next trilogy to start the same way, with a bookend scene from this trilogy feeding into it. You know, it'll make it seem like one big 9-part story, which I think is really cool. But really, the point of this scene I see is twofold. One, to show that that window symbol from Rise of the Planet of the Apes that's been used as a symbol throughout this entire reboot franchise so far is still going to be used in this new trilogy. And 2, the fact that the apes hold their hands over their heads like this as a symbol, which pretty much means Hail Caesar, that's also going to carry over into this movie. They actually did that in War for the Planet of the Apes, so I like that they carried that over. So alright, we pick up 300 years later, and I was actually surprised to find out that this movie mostly takes place in what was once Los Angeles. Like you see in the background, I was like, is that LAX? That's the Los Angeles International Airport? Yeah, it is. Just as an Angelino, that was cool to see. But we meet Noah and his clan. Now, Noah's clan, they're bird tamers. They raise eagles. This is what I was talking about in my review where I was like, I can't really relate to that because they raise eagles. You don't really learn why, though. I imagine it's for a number of reasons, but the movie never really says. It's never like, hey, this is the reason why this clan raises eagles. So I was kind of confused. But there's a human kid lurking around, and in chasing her down, Noah accidentally leads Proximus's soldiers right to his clan. So the main conflict in this movie is that Proximus's soldiers basically kidnap everybody from Noah's clan except for Noah himself. And so the main premise is that Noah has to go on a quest to get everybody back and take down Proximus and his kingdom. That was a pretty brutal scene too, when everyone gets ransacked and Noah's father is killed right in front of him pretty much, and he takes that rough fall through the fire. That was hard to watch. But so off he goes on his quest on his horse, and he meets Raka, who, like I said, is my favorite character in the movie, because really he's the most charismatic character in this movie. He's the last surviving member of the Order of Caesar, which is he knows the way that Caesar actually used to be, whereas Proximus and his kingdom, they twist Caesar's words to fit his tyrannical rule. But Raka's like, no, Caesar ruled with decency and strength. He actually knows about Caesar. That was cool. And he does have the most funny moments in this movie too. Like when they're gonna leave with May and he turns to May and he's like, horse. Who didn't laugh at that? Or how about his whole TED talk where he was talking about if humans could grab branches with their feet, that would be 4 times the safety. I imagine that scene was like ad-lib from the actor. He probably had a bunch of different spiels and they just ended up going with that one for the movie, in which case I want to see the others in the deleted scenes. But yeah, May. The big thing about her, which I still feel the last couple of trailers should not have spoiled, is the fact that she can speak.
I have a name. May. I know where they're taking your clan.
It's like she somehow avoided the virus that took intelligence from mankind. And I have a theory as to why this is, but I'll save that for the end. So eventually the crew gets to Proximus's kingdom, which if you know your Easter eggs, those scarecrows that they see outside, that's right out of the original film. Along with the score right there, the piano, that do-do-do-do. That's also right out of the original. That was a great Easter egg. But this is also the scene where Raka dies, which I was sad. I didn't know he was gonna die in this movie. It sucked. Like we were about halfway through this movie and Raka's dying already, which I kind of see as the studio's excuse for not giving him a character poster, because he's only in half the movie, but that is no excuse because Proximus Caesar is only in half the movie as well. Yet he got his own character posters, so what gives? I don't know, but it upset me. And so upon entering Proximus Caesar's kingdom, Kevin Durant really is great as Proximus Caesar. I didn't give him enough credit in my review. He really gave one hell of a performance. You see that clip where it's him on a talk show, he's with Owen Teague, and they're doing their 8 thing, he's like, say his words. That was awesome. Hell of a vocal range too. So Proximus Caesar's whole thing is that his kingdom is set up around this big vault that he's been trying to open for months, because he's convinced that whatever is in there will help him evolve to a higher human-like intelligence that is closer to how humans used to be in this world. That's his whole spiel he gives where he's like, humans in their time, they could speak across oceans. They could fly like eagles fly. Proximus Caesar wants that kind of technology for himself, and he's convinced that it's in this vault. And we also meet Trevathan, played by William H. Macy. He's another intelligent human that Proximus Caesar is pretty much keeping prisoner. He's having Trevathan educate him about history, especially Roman history, since I guess that's Proximus's favorite. Makes sense. I don't really have a good explanation for Trevathan though, like as to where he comes from, why he's still intelligent, unless he's from the same place that May is from, which I doubt. I don't know. So yeah, that's still kind of a mystery to me. I mean, May asks him where you're from and he just says it doesn't matter. Maybe that was the writers going, don't ask, because we don't know. He does die though. He gets choked out by May because he was gonna rat on everybody to Proximus for trying to break into the vault. So May just strangles him right there on the spot. That was actually pretty cool. Good for her. So fast forwarding, we find out that this vault is actually a military bunker, and May, she's had her own agenda all along. Throughout the entire movie, she's had her own plan. She needed to get into this vault to find a deciphering key for the satellite, which I'll touch on in a minute. Don't worry, I'm almost at the end. Eventually, we get the big confrontation with Proximus Caesar, and Noah summons all the birds, and they all attack him, and Proximus Caesar dies by falling off the cliff. I skim over the main villain's death like this because I see it as the overall story of this trilogy. Proximus Caesar is really irrelevant, because what I see as the main point of this entire trilogy that's coming out really reveals itself in the last like 2 minutes of this movie. We see May show up at this human base underneath these giant satellites where she joins all these humans, including Jia-Ying from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Right when she came on screen, I was like, it's Daisy's mom, yeah, the bitch. Turns out this is a whole group of human beings that has somehow retained their intelligence 300 years after Caesar's reign. So the big question is, how is this possible? How did May know everything about the vault and human history? And who are these other humans? And I'm pleased to say I'm pretty sure I figured it out. And I feel like a genius, I really do. Now, disclaimer, I am about to go into theory mode, so I will say I could be completely wrong, but I am pretty sure I'm right because this theory I have in my head about May and these humans makes so much sense to me about how these humans are still intelligent after 300 years. Alright, think about it. A virus takes the intelligence from mankind and makes apes smart, right? What humans could not only survive this, but avoid it altogether? Well, how about humans that are up in space, huh? Here's my theory, and the theory starts off by splitting in two different directions, but they both end at the same outcome. Option A, when the virus started, a group of humans got it in their head to abandon ship and leave Earth to avoid this. Option B, they're the astronauts that were currently on board the ISS, the International Space Station. I am more inclined to lean towards this option, that whoever was on the ISS at the time, they got word from down on Earth, don't come back down here because there's a virus wiping out mankind. So whoever was up there stayed up there and just started a civilization up there on the ISS. And so 300 years later, humans still live up there, they still have their intelligence, because why wouldn't they? And now they send a group down for reconnaissance. They have human history archived up there, that's why May knows everything. And plus, that would answer the question of what Noah and May are seeing through the telescope at the Griffith Observatory. Couple of scenes where they're looking through this big telescope, we never see what they see. But we do see astronaut murals on the wall. You could see that as a throwback Easter egg to the original film, sure. But I choose to see that as visual foreshadowing, because that's going to be the main point of this trilogy, is these intelligent humans come down from the ISS or wherever up in space that have avoided the man-made virus that changed the world. I fit that theory into the movie and it clicks. Maybe it doesn't align completely perfectly, that still doesn't really explain Trevathan, but it does explain everything else. This group of people, they need to communicate with another group probably also sent down from the space station in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but they don't have the means, so they send May telling her where to go and what to retrieve. That's why she has her own agenda from the beginning. Also, like that scene where they come across these feral humans, the look on May's face when she sees them is like she's seeing humans on Earth for the first time, because she looks really sad at tears streaming down her face. She's probably thinking, holy shit, I can't believe this is what's become of humanity on Earth. That would make sense if she's seeing this for the first time, which I believe she is. But ultimately, in the end, we won't know all the answers for sure until we get the next chapter or two. But this movie's ending really had me thinking, and once I was pretty sure I've solved it, I was like, alright, I should make a spoiler video just to get my theory out there at least. So that's my validation. In conclusion, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is better the second time you watch it, and I can't wait to see where the story goes from here. Because like I said, these intelligent humans, they're gonna be the main point now, I'm pretty damn sure. And I'll be honest, one of the things that excites me the most is what are the next movies gonna be called. And I'll say now, if we're gonna be dealing with humans coming from a space station, then I think a good title for one of the sequels would be Beyond the Planet of the Apes. Just saying, we shall see what happens. So, now that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is out, what are your theories about the ending? Do you think I'm nuts? I wanna know, so whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!